So UFC 312, Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis 2. Amazing fight. Great fight. It's the one fight at middleweight that has to happen before you put Khamzat in there. And honestly, I think Khamzat beats both Sean Strickland and Dricus. And honestly, I think it's going to be a pretty dominant finish, to be honest. Seeing what Khamzat did to Robert Whittaker, it's only a matter of time before he has the belt, unless there's an upset that happens. And then, yeah, you have the co-main event. Zhang Weili. I honestly think she should be taken on Yan. I'm going to butcher that last name. Weili Zhang Weili. I've heard it both ways. But I think she should be taken on the other fighter from China that she faced at UFC 300, who derailed Tabitha Ritchie, who was on a tear. I think if anyone, she's earned the rematch. But they're going with an undefeated fighter. But the last three fights on that main card, I only recognize Jimmy Crute. I just think that we're all looking at this fight. Like, I've been humbled. I'm not as hardcore of a fan as I thought. I mean, I love this sport. Huge fan of it. But I'm not as in-depth as I felt like I should be. And that's okay. We all get humbled eventually. However, a lot of these fights could have easily been swapped out with something that was on an Apex fight card now. It just seems like those are Apex fights going on to a pay-per-view. But, just like UFC Noche, I'm going to give it open-mindedness until Ortega versus Diego Lopez. I didn't even recognize those fighters on that card either. So I'm open-minded because those were exciting fights. Now, obviously, the more harsher voices on the web are going to say, you know what? I don't think that this is going to be a good card at all because of so-and-so, even though Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis is the main event, which I'm going to be watching this whole card. I'm just saying, I don't know what's going on the matchmaker side or whoever puts these pay-per-views together on the UFC, but I think a lot of the matchups that are potential that could have been put on that card, I mean, maybe they're spreading it out throughout the year. Who knows? There's a whole lot of different things, but I think that this is just probably going to be one of those duds of a card, unless the fighters that get on the pay-per-view really show up and put on some knockouts that, are going to prove us all wrong. I just feel like Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis, that first fight was so memorable and so close. A lot of us thought that Sean Strickland won that fight. However, I just think it's a little insulting to that main event to feel like you're not putting as much effort into the main card overall. Like they're just trying to get through UFC 312. Maybe it's because they do want to get to the winner versus Khamzat really quick. Who knows? But it's just a lacking card overall. Nothing we can do. I just have never seen... I just have never seen this kind of card on a pay-per-view in a while. And it's sad because they've actually been able to stack these things pretty relentlessly over the past few months. But I guess the UFC can only do so much until they're all out of options. So, and to the fighters who are on that card, no disrespect, it's just that I think these guys don't get a whole lot of exposure. There's only so many cards. There's so many fights on each card, too. But hey, maybe it might change eventually. Maybe this card, like I said, is going to put some of these guys on the map. Why not give some of the lesser-known fighters a chance to really shine? Because that's the harsh truth about publicity. When I looked at that card and I said, I've never heard of any of these guys. Maybe it's room to grow. Maybe there's room for potential star power. But that's looking on the bright side. But I just wanted to throw that out there. But hey, I might be proven wrong. But I'm going to be real and end this on a high note. That main event, oh man, I hope someone makes some adjustments and we actually get to see a finish because these guys need to follow up. But that's what I got to say. Peace out. See you on the next one.